Cadet Aaron's heart raced as the shuttle glided through the glowing clouds of the nebula gate. He had trained for this moment his entire life, but nothing could have prepared him for the sheer scale of the Galactic Training Academy. The station floated like a jewel above the blue-white star, massive and gleaming, its many towers and training fields stretching farther than his eyes could see. Ships of all shapes and sizes moved in and out, carrying cadets and officers from across the galaxy. Aaron, a human from Earth, had always been small compared to other species. His bones were lighter, his muscles less dense, and he had no natural defenses like some alien cadets. Yet he carried something that none of them could measure: determination. Every time someone had told him humans could not compete, he had trained harder, learned faster, and adapted in ways his instructors never expected. Now, as he stared at the Academy's massive gates, he knew this was the ultimate test. The shuttle docked with a soft hiss, and Aaron stepped into the arrival hall. The floor shimmered like liquid silver under his boots, reflecting the enormous ceiling above, where holographic banners announced the Academy's motto: strength in unity, wisdom in action, excellence beyond limits. Aaron's eyes widened as he saw the cadets around him. Many were towering creatures with 4 or 6 limbs, some with iridescent skin that changed colors with their mood. Others had wings, tails, or glowing eyes that scanned him with curiosity. He felt a tiny pang of nervousness. He had read about the species here, studied their abilities, and even practiced alien combat techniques in simulations. But seeing them in real life was another story. A voice called his name. It was sharp and commanding, but not unkind. "Cadet Aaron," said a tall figure with deep blue skin and eyes like liquid silver. "I am Instructor Xylar, your primary training officer. Welcome to the Academy." Aaron bowed respectfully, a human gesture he hoped would not offend. "Thank you, Instructor. I am ready to learn." Xylar's eyes narrowed slightly. "Ready is not enough. You must endure, adapt, and excel. Humans are different. Most do not last a single day here." Aaron smiled faintly. "I understand, sir. I will do my best." Xylar motioned for him to follow. The hallway stretched endlessly, lined with doors that led to dormitories, laboratories, and training arenas. Each cadet they passed glanced at Aaron with interest, whispering in alien languages. He tried to ignore them, focusing instead on taking in every detail. He needed to learn, and observation was the first lesson. The first stop was the orientation hall, a massive chamber with holographic panels floating in midair. Xylar gestured toward them. "This week you will undergo basic training. You will face tasks designed for the strongest, fastest, and smartest cadets in the galaxy. Few complete even one day." Aaron nodded, feeling a mixture of excitement and nerves. "I will give my full effort." "Good," Xylar said, "but effort alone will not be enough. Observe, calculate, and act. That is the key to survival." The training began with physical exercises, testing strength, speed, and coordination. The cadets were split into groups, each species matched with others of similar ability. Aaron found himself among beings twice his height, with muscles like coiled steel. The first challenge was a gravity shift obstacle course where platforms moved, rotated, and disappeared at random. Aaron's human legs struggled at first, his balance tested in ways no simulator could replicate. A towering alien cadet leapt over a spinning platform effortlessly, while Aaron stumbled. He landed awkwardly, sliding to a stop just before falling into the empty space below. He felt the eyes of the instructors on him, sharp and watchful. He took a deep breath, shaking off the fear. Humans were not naturally the strongest, but they were adaptable. Watching carefully, he noticed the timing of the platforms, the slight vibrations that hinted at their movement. Using these clues, he adjusted his stance, leapt at the exact right moment, and landed safely on the next platform. The alien instructors exchanged looks of surprise. "He observes faster than expected," muttered one quietly. By the end of the first physical test, Aaron was exhausted, his muscles burning. Yet he had completed every obstacle, while several alien cadets had failed, or barely scraped through. His human endurance, combined with careful observation, had given him an edge in a field where raw strength was usually the only measure. Next came the cognitive exercises, puzzles and challenges designed to test memory, logic, and problem-solving under pressure. Cadets were placed in virtual reality chambers, each with a unique scenario. Labyrinths, alien languages to decode, strategic games that mimicked galactic battles. Aaron's human brain had been trained for this. He quickly recognized patterns, translated alien symbols, and predicted the virtual opponent's moves. Other cadets struggled, relying on instinct or brute force, while Aaron's calm reasoning allowed him to finish tasks efficiently. Instructor. Xylar observed silently. Unbelievable, he whispered. His thought process. It is unlike any human or alien we have seen. By the end of the first day, the cadets were exhausted, their uniforms damp with sweat. Many humans in previous years had already dropped out. But Aaron sat quietly in the corner of the dining hall, eating the nutrient-rich meal provided, and made careful notes in his personal log. He knew tomorrow would be even harder. That evening, as the academy's lights dimmed, Aaron looked out of his dormitory window. The stars stretched infinitely in every direction, and distant planets sparkled like tiny jewels. He thought of Earth, his home planet, small and fragile compared to the vastness around him. And yet, he felt no fear. He felt purpose. Humans were small, yes, but humans could endure, adapt, and inspire. Suddenly, a soft chime echoed through the dormitory. A holographic message appeared showing Instructor Xylar. Cadet Aaron. The alien's voice was calm but firm. Rest well. Tomorrow's training will push your limits. Remember, observe, calculate, act, and remember this. Even if you succeed, we do not know what you are capable of. Aaron smiled faintly. Understood, Instructor. As he lay on his bunk, thoughts racing, he realized that this week would not just test him physically or mentally, it would test the very essence of what it meant to be human in a galaxy full of superior species, and he was ready. The next morning, he would begin the real training, where aliens expected him to fail. But failure had never been part of his plan. The morning sun of the distant star bathed the Galactic Training Academy in pale golden light, and the cadets gathered in the main training arena. Cadet Aaron arrived early, his uniform neatly pressed, his posture straight. He had slept well and eaten the nutrient meal provided, but his mind was already working on strategies for the day's challenges. The alien instructors were already waiting. Xylar and two other senior officers floated in mid-air, their eyes glowing faintly with anticipation. They had watched Aaron's first day, their records showing a human completing tasks others of his species had failed, yet none of them had expected the pace at which he was learning. Cadet Aaron, Xylar began, his voice deep and commanding, today's exercises are more advanced. You will face multiple tasks simultaneously, physical, mental, and coordination challenges. Only the most capable cadets finish without failure. Aaron nodded. I understand, Instructor. I will do my best. Other cadets exchanged glances. The aliens were skeptical of humans, and whispers spread among them. Do you think he will last the day? Asked a winged cadet named Lyra. Most humans fail before lunch, another replied. But he might be different. The first exercise was a team-based obstacle run, combining physical agility, speed, and strategic thinking. Cadets had to navigate a series of platforms suspended over a void, collect data orbs, and return to the start in the shortest time. The catch: the platforms moved unpredictably, and obstacles required teamwork to complete. Aaron studied the course carefully before stepping forward. He noticed subtle vibrations in the moving platforms, tiny markings indicating the safest path. While other cadets charged ahead with brute force, he observed, planned, and executed precise movements. When a teammate struggled, he reached out, offering guidance without hesitation. The team finished faster than anyone expected. The alien instructors murmured among themselves. "He coordinates without training. That is unusual," said one. Next came a mental agility test. Cadets entered individual simulation pods where holographic puzzles, alien symbols, and logic sequences appeared in rapid succession. The faster they solved the sequences, the higher their score. Aaron's fingers moved quickly over the holographic interface, his mind translating alien symbols into patterns he recognized. Where other cadets hesitated, he paused only briefly, then applied deduction to find the solution. The simulation adapted to the cadet's speed, increasing in difficulty, but Aaron kept up, his human brain thriving under pressure. When the pod opened, the instructor's screen flashed. Top score, Aaron. The murmurs among the cadets grew louder. "He's faster than even the elite aliens," whispered one. Lyra's eyes widened. "No human has ever reached the top in a simulation like that." Irene remained calm, almost humble. "I only do what I can," he said quietly, moving on to the next challenge. The final exercise of the morning combined strength and problem-solving. Cadets faced a massive wall, embedded with alien locks and mechanical traps. They had to climb, unlock the mechanisms, and retrieve a central energy core before time ran out. Many cadets froze, struggling with the unfamiliar technology. Aaron examined the wall carefully. He noticed the rhythm of the traps, the sequence of the locks, and even the unusual weight distribution of the climbing holds. Using observation and intuition, he climbed steadily, avoiding traps and unlocking mechanisms with calculated moves. By the time he reached the energy core, the instructors were openly shocked. No cadet had ever completed this wall in under 10 minutes, and he did it in 7. "Impossible," muttered one officer. "He should have failed 3 times already." Xylar's eyes narrowed, a mix of astonishment and worry. "He learns too quickly. We cannot predict what he is capable of." During the lunch break, Aaron sat quietly at the academy's dining hall, eating with other cadets. They were wary at first, but soon became curious. Some asked him simple questions about Earth, the way humans trained, and the methods he used. "I focus on observing patterns first," Aaron explained. "Then I think about the best approach. I never rush without understanding the situation." The alien cadets nodded slowly, impressed. Humans were considered physically weak, but Aaron showed a combination of intelligence, adaptability, and endurance they had not seen before. The afternoon challenges tested endurance and teamwork under stress. Cadets were placed in a zero-gravity arena, tasked with moving objects, solving puzzles, and avoiding simulated hazards. The arena spun unpredictably, forcing cadets to constantly adjust their movements. Aaron's human body struggled at first. He had never experienced true zero-gravity outside simulations, and his muscles protested every move. Yet he observed his surroundings carefully, using small adjustments and momentum to his advantage. Other cadets flailed, using their wings or extra limbs to compensate, but Aaron's methodical approach kept him efficient and steady. When a teammate panicked during a maneuver, Aaron reached out, guiding them calmly. "Steady your motion. Use the momentum, not against it," he instructed. The teammate followed, and together they completed the task. The alien instructor's panic grew. "A human cadet is completing tasks designed to test the strongest aliens," Xylar said quietly. "We may have underestimated their potential." By evening, the cadets were exhausted. Most humans had given up entirely in past years, unable to handle the combination of physical, mental, and environmental challenges. Aaron, however, had completed every exercise, often outperforming the alien cadets. Xylar summoned him for a brief review. "Cadet Aaron, your performance today is unprecedented," he said. "Your ability to adapt, observe, and execute strategies is remarkable. But remember, this is only the beginning. The week will test limits you do not yet know exist." Aaron nodded respectfully. "I understand, instructor. I will continue to do my best." That night, Aaron returned to his dormitory. He sat at a small desk, reviewing the day's experiences. Every movement, every decision, every strategy was recorded in his personal log. He knew that reflection was as important as action. Learning from each challenge would prepare him for the even tougher days ahead. Outside, the academy shimmered under the distant star. Ships moved silently in orbit, cadets practiced on various fields, and the alien instructors discussed in hushed tones. Rumors had already spread that a human cadet was performing beyond expectations, and the instructors were quietly worried. "Humans should not be able to handle this," one senior officer said. "Yet he completes every task. I have never seen anything like it." Zylar's silver eyes reflected a mixture of concern and fascination. "He is human, yes, but his mind, his approach, it is different. Perhaps humans have untapped potential we never imagined." Meanwhile, Aaron lay on his bunk, tired but satisfied. His body ached, his muscles burned, yet he felt a quiet joy. Every challenge completed was a step forward, not just for him, but for all humans. He had a sense that this week would not just test him, it would redefine what others believed humans could achieve. As he drifted to sleep, he thought of the coming days. More simulations, more obstacles, more tests. But he felt ready. Humans were small, physically weaker than many species in the galaxy, but they had something the instructors could not measure: resilience, creativity, and curiosity. And Aaron intended to show them all. The third day at the Galactic Training Academy began with a quiet tension in the air. The alien instructors gathered in the observation towers, their eyes fixed on the arena below. Cadet Aaron had surprised them twice already, first with his physical skill, then with his mental agility. Today, however, the challenges were designed to push cadets beyond every limit. Strength, strategy, endurance, and adaptability all combined. No one had ever completed them without failure, not even the elite alien cadets. Aaron walked into the arena with his usual calm. The surface beneath his boots was a shifting platform, undulating and tilting unpredictably. Holographic targets appeared at various points, requiring precision and quick reflexes. In one corner, a zero-gravity module activated, forcing cadets to adapt instantly to weightlessness. On the other side, a complex puzzle awaited, combining alien symbols, logic gates, and spatial patterns. Cadet Aaron. Zylar's voice echoed through the arena. "This is the limit simulation. Many have failed. Few complete more than half. You will face multiple challenges at once. Your speed, intelligence, and endurance will be tested simultaneously. Proceed." Aaron's eyes scanned the arena. He noticed subtle patterns, the rhythm of the shifting platforms, the timing of the holographic targets, even the slight vibration changes as modules activated. While others hesitated, he stepped forward with careful confidence. The first task was to cross the platforms while hitting targets in a specific sequence. Alien cadets leapt with incredible strength, some overshooting and falling into the void below. Aaron moved differently. He timed each step, adjusted his balance with small, precise motions, and struck each target accurately. His method was slower than raw power, but it was flawless. The instructors exchanged uneasy glances. "He is not just fast, he calculates," murmured one. Next, the zero-gravity module activated. Cadets were launched into a spinning chamber with floating obstacles and moving platforms. Many struggled, spinning uncontrollably or bumping into walls. Aaron felt the pull on his body, but he focused on observation. He noticed that slight pushes against surfaces could control his movement more efficiently than thrashing. Using momentum carefully, he navigated through the chamber with grace. One alien cadet, six-limbed and muscular, tried to follow him, but collided with a barrier and tumbled. Aaron extended a hand, guiding the cadet with a steady voice. "Adjust. Your push here, then float along this trajectory." The cadet followed, completing the section successfully. The mental puzzle activated next. Holographic gates appeared around Aaron, displaying alien symbols, shifting patterns, and numeric sequences. Time was limited, and the system increased in complexity with each correct move. Other cadets panicked, some erasing sequences by mistake, others freezing in indecision. Aaron focused, breaking down the puzzle into smaller sections. He recognized repeating sequences, calculated patterns, and predicted the system's next moves. Piece by piece, he solved the puzzle faster than expected. The display flashed, sequence complete, optimal timing achieved. Zyler's eyes narrowed. Impossible. He should be overwhelmed, yet he is, mastering every element. The final phase of the limit simulation combined all challenges at once. Platforms shifted, holographic targets appeared, the zero-gravity module activated, and the puzzle gates required constant updates. Cadets had to manage all simultaneously to reach the energy core at the center. Most cadets collapsed within minutes, exhausted by the sheer combination of physical and mental demands. Aaron, however, remained calm. He separated his attention into layers, one for balance, one for timing, one for problem-solving. His human brain adapted quickly, shifting focus between tasks without hesitation. A group of alien cadets tried to form a coordinated approach, but their instincts conflicted with strategy. Aaron noticed the flaw and silently adjusted his movements, completing each task efficiently and helping nearby cadets when possible. As he reached the energy core, the simulation ended. The arena's lights dimmed, and a soft hum filled the chamber. A scoreboard projected above, Cadet Aaron, completion time record achieved. The instructors froze. None had predicted this. Zylar's voice, though calm, carried a hint of disbelief. Cadet Aaron, you have completed the limit simulation, alone, flawlessly. Aaron bowed slightly. Thank you, instructor. I only followed the patterns and adjusted as needed. The other cadets stared in awe. Whispers spread quickly. The human, he did it! Some winged cadets hovered in disbelief, while others shook their heads, muttering that no human could ever match alien skill. Even the IR, elite cadets, could not hide their curiosity. Lyra, who had been skeptical at first, approached Aaron. How did you manage it? She asked, her wings quivering slightly. Aaron smiled. I watched carefully, noticed patterns, and tried small adjustments. I didn't rush. I just thought about each step. Lyra tilted her head. Humans, you think differently. It's unusual, but effective. The instructors, however, were far from impressed. They were panicked. A human had just completed a simulation designed to break the strongest cadets. If he continued at this pace, records could be shattered, and the Academy's perception of human capability would need reconsideration. Zylar, said one senior officer quietly, he learns too quickly. He adapts to situations that should overwhelm him. How do we contain this? Zylar's silver eyes glimmered. We cannot. We can only observe. His mind and body are not following our expectations. We have never seen a human operate at this level. If he continues, we may need to rethink everything. Meanwhile, Aaron returned to his dormitory, exhausted but focused. He did not celebrate. He did not boast. He simply reviewed every part of the day in his personal log. Observation, calculation, action, each task had been a lesson. Each challenge had taught him something new about physics, strategy, and teamwork. That night, he trained privately. He practiced human techniques for balance and endurance, studied alien methods for problem-solving, and even rehearsed simulations in his mind. While others slept, Aaron prepared for tomorrow, knowing the limit simulation was only the beginning. Outside, the academy was alive with activity. Alien instructors debated quietly in observation rooms, reviewing the day's data. Rumors spread among cadets, some inspired, some fearful. A human had completed a test no one thought possible, and done so with calm confidence. Could it be, whispered one officer, that humans are underestimated? Zylar did not answer immediately. His mind raced, considering possibilities he had never imagined. Humans were fragile, physically weaker, yet Aaron had displayed adaptability, intelligence, and endurance beyond expectation. If this was a glimpse of human potential, the galaxy had underestimated a species that could rival even the most advanced aliens in certain ways. Aaron, meanwhile, lay on his bunk, staring at the ceiling. He thought of Earth, of the small planet where humans lived, laughed, and learned. He felt a quiet pride, not arrogance, but purpose. Humans were not the strongest, the fastest, or the most powerful, but they were resilient, clever, and persistent. And that mattered more than the aliens could yet understand. As he drifted into sleep, he silently prepared himself for the next day. More challenges awaited, more obstacles, more surprises. But he was ready. Humans had always adapted, and he would continue to show that human determination and ingenuity could match, and perhaps surpass, even the most advanced alien expectations. The fourth day at the Galactic Training Academy opened with a different energy. The alien instructors whispered quietly in the observation towers, their eyes fixed on Cadet Aaron. Over the past 3 days, he had completed every challenge flawlessly, a feat no human or alien had ever achieved. Today, the Academy planned to push cadets into real-time team missions, where observation, quick thinking, and adaptability would decide success or failure. Aaron arrived early, his uniform spotless, his calm determination visible to all. Around him, the elite cadets of multiple species gathered. They were among the Academy's finest, winged flyers, multi-limbed climbers, and creatures with glowing energy shields. Many of them had never been on a team with a human. Some whispered, doubtful, that Aaron could contribute. Instructor Xylar appeared on the central platform. Cadets, today you will engage in cooperative missions. You will face scenarios designed to simulate real galactic operations, strategic movement, puzzle solving, and obstacle navigation. Teams that fail will face consequences. Teams that succeed will advance toward the elite recognition tier. Aaron nodded, his calm demeanor a contrast to the tension around him. He silently analyzed the other cadets, noting their strengths and weaknesses. Unlike others, he did not focus on comparison. He focused on collaboration. The first mission began. The arena transformed into a simulated asteroid field. Floating rocks, narrow passages, and laser grids required careful navigation. At the center, an energy core awaited retrieval, but the route was filled with traps and shifting platforms. Aaron's team moved cautiously. Other cadets relied on brute force or instinct, colliding with obstacles or miscalculating jumps. Aaron observed the environment, spotting patterns in the trap sequences. "Follow my lead," he instructed calmly. "Jump here, not there. Wait for the pattern, then move." The team listened. Slowly, carefully they advanced. Aaron used human intuition, timing, and balance techniques to guide them past the most dangerous sections. Where others might have panicked, he stayed composed, his confidence contagious. In the next section, cadets encountered a puzzle barrier, alien symbols shifting in complex patterns. A single error could trigger the entire barrier to reset. Other cadets hesitated, unsure of how to interpret the symbols. Aaron analyzed quickly, breaking the puzzle into sections. He instructed the team, "This part follows a repeating sequence. Match the symbols in order, then shift this column to complete the pattern." They followed, and the barrier opened smoothly. The other cadets looked at him in surprise. "One of the winged cadets whispered. "How? Does he understand the sequence so fast?" Aaron merely smiled. "I focus on observing first, then acting. It is easier than guessing blindly." The mission became even more difficult. Laser grids, moving platforms, and zero-gravity traps were combined. Cadets had to communicate continuously, making instant decisions under pressure. Many of Aaron's teammates faltered, their instincts conflicting with strategy. Aaron adapted, anticipating moves and adjusting his own position to compensate. His calm guidance allowed the team to succeed where others would have failed. In the observation tower, the instructors were in open panic. "He is not only completing challenges, he is improving the team's performance," Xylar whispered, eyes wide. "We have never recorded this, a human improving alien cadet efficiency. It is extraordinary." Another officer shook their head. "If this continues, humans may need to be reconsidered in the academy hierarchy. We cannot predict his limits." Aaron remained unaware of the turmoil he had caused. For him, the focus was simple: observation, calculation, and action. He helped a struggling cadet across a laser grid, suggested optimal paths for another, and coordinated the final sequence to retrieve the energy core. By the time they completed the mission, the scoreboard displayed team completion, optimal, strategy achieved, record efficiency. Even the elite cadets were stunned. Lyra, who had watched Aaron carefully, stepped closer. You did not just complete it alone. You improved all of us." Aaron shrugged modestly. "I only noticed what could work better. You all already had the skill. I just helped guide." The instructors gathered afterward, their faces a mixture of awe and worry. "This human cadet is changing everything we believed about his species," Xylar said quietly. "If he continues at this rate, he may surpass even the top-ranking cadets in a week." Meanwhile, Aaron returned to his dormitory, quietly reviewing his team's performance. Each motion, each puzzle, each instruction he gave was recorded in his personal log. He wanted to understand not only how he succeeded, but why his methods worked. Humans learned from reflection, and Aaron had already learned far more than most cadets in 3 days. Later, while other cadets trained individually, Aaron observed the academy's systems. He noticed subtle patterns in the simulation controls, shifts in platform timing, and even the way the holographic puzzles responded to cadet input. Using these observations, he began to develop ideas to improve the training modules, small, precise adjustments that could enhance efficiency without breaking the rules. The instructors noticed. "He is suggesting improvements to the academy itself," one whispered. "A human cadet questioning the system. Bold and reckless." Xylar's eyes gleamed with both curiosity and caution. "It is not recklessness. He is analyzing, not defying. But the implications are significant. If humans can adapt and optimize faster than our elite cadets, our understanding of galactic potential may need to be revised." The evening session introduced a new type of challenge: multi-layered strategy exercises. Teams had to move through dynamic environments, solve puzzles, and defend objectives from simulated opponents. Most cadets struggled to coordinate across species, their instincts clashing. Aaron, however, communicated clearly and efficiently. He assigned tasks based on observation of strengths, guided weaker cadets with clear instructions, and adapted strategies on the fly. Even the instructors could not keep up with the pace at which he coordinated his team. By the end of the day, every record in the Academy's history for efficiency, teamwork, and adaptability had been broken. Cadet Aaron had not only completed every task, he had elevated the performance of his team beyond expectation. In the observation tower, the instructors convened an urgent discussion. "This cannot continue unchecked," said one. "Humans were never meant to perform at this level. What is happening?" Xylar remained silent for a moment, studying the data. "He is not merely succeeding. He is revealing potential we have never considered. His species may have untapped capabilities. We must observe carefully, but we cannot predict the outcome. Our entire framework may need adjustment." Meanwhile, Aaron returned to his dormitory, tired but focused. He practiced small drills to refine his movements, reviewed strategies, and even considered ways to improve his team's coordination for future missions. He was not motivated by records or recognition. His goal was to learn, adapt, and continue improving. As he lay on his bunk that night, he gazed at the distant stars. Earth felt far away, yet he carried the lessons of humanity within him: perseverance, curiosity, and the ability to adapt. These qualities had guided him through 3 days of impossible challenges, and he felt confident that they would carry him through the rest of the week. Outside, the academy hummed with activity. Alien cadets whispered about the human who had changed the way they approached challenges. The instructors continued to argue quietly in observation rooms, unsure how to respond. For the first time in history, a human had not only survived the academy's toughest tests, but had improved the performance of elite alien cadets through simple observation, guidance, and logic. Aaron's week was far from over. The final day promised ultimate tests of endurance, strategy, and mental fortitude. Yet he did not fear them. Humans had always faced overwhelming odds, and his species had learned to adapt, persevere, and triumph. The academy itself, unknowingly, was beginning to realize that the presence of a human cadet, small, humble, and persistent, could reshape their understanding of potential in ways no alien had predicted. The fifth and final day of training at the Galactic Training Academy arrived with a quiet weight in the air. The corridors, usually filled with noise and chatter, seemed unusually still. Cadets moved quickly, whispering among themselves, their eyes drifting toward one figure again and again, Cadet Aaron the human. By now, every cadet in the academy had heard the stories. A human had completed the gravity courses, solved the alien puzzles, guided teams through impossible missions, and even broken records no one believed could ever be broken. For most, it was inspiring. For others, it was unsettling. But for the instructors, it was something else entirely. It was panic. High above the training grounds, Instructor Xylar stood with two senior officers. Their silver eyes scanned the day's schedule, the final comprehensive trial. "This test is designed to break limits," said one officer quietly. "It combines combat simulation, survival, puzzle solving, and endurance. No cadet has ever finished it without error." "And if he does?" asked the other. Xylar's voice was calm but heavy. "Then the academy will never be the same. The final trial begins." The arena shifted around Aaron, transforming into a vast, multi-layered environment. Towers rose high into the air, bridges swayed, and rivers of energy flowed below. The trial would last hours, forcing cadets to endure hunger, exhaustion, and mental fatigue while completing every challenge. A booming voice filled the arena. "Cadets, this is the final comprehensive trial. Work alone, work smart. Survival and success will mark your future in the academy." Aaron's eyes scanned the field. He breathed steadily, his mind already mapping routes, spotting hazards, and considering possibilities. He was not intimidated by the size of the trial. To him, it was simply another puzzle waiting to be solved. The first stage was combat. Simulated opponents appeared, holographic creatures modeled after some of the galaxy's fiercest predators. Many cadets charged recklessly, striking with brute force. Aaron moved differently. He studied the opponents, watching their movements, their timing, their weaknesses. Then he struck with precision, using agility rather than strength. Within minutes, he defeated every opponent in his path. In the observation tower, the officers leaned forward. "He wastes no energy," one muttered. "Every action is measured." The second stage tested survival. Cadets were dropped into harsh environments, burning deserts, icy caverns, and storm-swept fields. They had to find food, shelter, and safe paths. Many alien cadets struggled, unused to environments outside their natural worlds. Aaron, however, adapted. He rationed energy, created temporary shelters from available resources, and used logic to conserve strength. "Humans evolved on a hostile world," Xylar whispered. "Perhaps this is why he adapts so well." The third stage was mental endurance. Holographic puzzles appeared in endless streams, alien languages to decode, logic chains to complete, and complex sequences to remember under pressure. Hours passed, and cadets began to collapse from exhaustion, but Aaron pressed on, his mind sharp even as fatigue set in. He paused when needed, breathed deeply, and then continued with steady focus. By the time the sun of the distant star dipped, low on the horizon, only a few cadets remained in the trial, and at the center of the arena, still standing, still solving, still adapting, was Aaron, breaking the unbreakable. The final stage of the trial combined everything. Combat, survival, puzzles, and navigation merged into a single overwhelming challenge. Energy floods cut off paths, simulated opponents attacked in groups, and puzzles had to be solved while moving. The cadets who remained struggled desperately. Some collapsed from exhaustion, others gave up entirely, but Aaron did not. He moved with calm precision, balancing speed with observation. He fought only when needed, avoiding wasted effort. He solved puzzles quickly, but without rushing. He adapted to the floods, finding new paths others had missed. Every decision seemed carefully calculated and yet natural, as if he had been preparing his entire life for this exact moment. Hours later, when the trial finally ended, the arena returned to silence. Holographic lights dimmed, platforms lowered, and exhausted cadets were carried away. Only one cadet stood at the center, breathing heavily but still steady. Cadet Aaron. A scoreboard appeared above the arena. Completion achieved. Record time. Human candidate. Aaron. The silence was overwhelming. Then whispers spread like wildfire through the cadets. He did it. The human finished the final trial. The instructors panic. In the observation tower, the instructors gathered, in shock. No cadet in history has completed the final trial without collapse, said one officer. And he is human. How is this possible? Another officer's voice trembled. If one human can do this, what if many can? What if their entire species holds such potential? Xylar remained silent for a long moment, his silver eyes fixed on Aaron below. Finally he spoke. We feared humans were too weak. We believed they had limits. But this cadet has shown us something else. Humans are not limited by strength, speed, or instinct. They are guided by resilience, by creativity, by endless adaptability, and that may make them stronger than we ever imagined. Recognition. When Aaron returned to the dormitory later that night, he felt exhaustion in every part of his body. His muscles ached, his mind throbbed, and yet, he felt content. He had finished the week. Not only finished, it seemed he had accomplished something greater. But he did not think of records or whispers or the panic of his instructors. He thought only of the lessons he had learned. Observe carefully, calculate calmly, act with purpose. These lessons had carried him through every challenge, and they would guide him in whatever came next. The next morning, the academy gathered in the main hall. Holographic banners shimmered above, announcing the results of the week's training. Instructor. Xylar stepped forward, his voice echoing across the chamber. Cadets, this week has revealed many truths, but above all it has revealed the hidden potential of humanity. Cadet Aaron has completed every challenge, not through brute force, but through observation, calculation, and resilience. His success is not just his own. It is a symbol of what humans may bring to the galaxy. The cadets erupted in whispers, awe filling their voices. Even the elite alien cadets bowed their heads slightly in respect. Aaron stood quietly among them, his posture straight, his eyes calm. He felt no need to boast. For him, success was not about recognition. It was about proving that humans, small and underestimated, could rise to any challenge. A quiet legend. That night, as the academy settled, the instructors gathered privately. Their voices were hushed, filled with concern. We must prepare, said one. If humans continue to show this kind of adaptability, the galaxy may change. Xylar looked out the window at the distant stars. It has already changed. A single human has completed a week of training that no alien thought possible. The galaxy will remember this moment, and so will we. Meanwhile, in his dormitory, Aaron wrote the final entry in his personal log. End of week 1. Training complete. Lessons learned. Observe carefully. Calculate calmly. Act with purpose. Humans can endure. Humans can adapt. And with enough effort, humans can succeed, even where others believe we cannot. He closed the log, lay back on his bunk, and stared at the stars. Somewhere far away was Earth, small and fragile compared to the galaxy's vastness. Yet tonight he felt proud. Not just for himself but for his entire species, because for the first time in the history of the Academy, a human cadet had not only finished the week, he had set a record, changed minds, and shown that humanity's true strength was not measured in muscle or speed but in spirit. And the alien training officers? They still whispered in the shadows, still panicked, still uncertain of what Aaron's success meant for the galaxy. But for Aaron, there was no fear. There was only readiness. The future waited and humanity was ready to step into it.